with your host, Cowboy and Spade.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bourbon and Boxing with your two favorite boxing people in the whole world. Got to be, because we cooler than the rest of them. We're badder than the rest of them. They don't want this, even if they ex-fighters. They don't want it. I'm just playing. What's going on, Big Spade? Up in here?
It ain't that. Chilling, man. Chilling, man. How was your holidays, bro?
Oh, man, great, man. Seeing the kids open stuff, enjoy themselves, you know what I mean? Getting it all done. It ain't never easy, but hey, got done. And, you know, we kind of stayed home. My youngest one was sick, so dealt with that and just, you know, had a good little at-home Christmas this year. Relaxed. Didn't have to go anywhere. Popped open my bourbon, you know.
Yeah.
That's
I ain't
it. How
doing
about
much
yourself,
either.
man?
I did the same for real. Stayed home. I went over to my aunt's house for a little second. I stayed home, ate some food, chilled, relaxed. Glad that shit over with so I could get it back to
Yeah.
stacking and paying bills. No
Yeah.
extra activity.
Yeah. I got to check the
Mm.
day after Christmas. That motherfucker was gone.
Mm, mm,
The
mm.
bill man said, "Hey, it's Christmas
Yours
time.
too?
You got what you got from me?"
Yours too? Mine was
Yeah.
gone immediately.
I was like, "Damn, they was ready for me. They didn't even care. Christmas is over. Scrooge McDuck was at my door,
Man.
kicking it
Wow.
down. You got my money? Yeah, chill out, bro. I got you." Try to shake me down and shit.
It'd be
But yeah,
wild.
I mean, we didn't have a lot of fights going on. We had a couple cancellations. Of course, the Inouye fight got canceled because of the cut on Goodman's eye during his sparring. We talked about that, so that took away one of our fights that we could have had a nice conversation about in between what we saw last weekend. Of course, we had the big unification fight in the heavyweight division, of course, which I thought was good. Not as good as the first fight. We're going to get into this. Usyk defeats Fury via unanimous decision to retain his unified status at heavyweight, man. Give me your thoughts on that fight, Big Spade. I thought maybe Fury looked his age. The stamina showed a lot, that size. But we'll get into what I thought about Usyk's technique and how he handled that size. But what was your thoughts on it overall, man?
Oh, well, I wasn't present the whole fight. I caught like the later rounds. And the later rounds, I felt like Tyson Fury, I don't know, man. He just ain't look like, he ain't looking how I expect him against Deontay Wilder. Even though they fighting a different style, I guess I feel like he knew Deontay Wilder attributes and
Yeah.
Usyk got more attributes to his game than then Deontay Wilder will make it difficult for Tyson Fury, somebody else that can box him and ain't one hand band and one trick pony. Got a
Yeah.
different style to his game. So I just feel like I don't know, man. He ain't been looking the same to me, man. The last fight, I could say that you said it. I'm gonna go off of what you saying that it was it wasn't as hold on, what word I'm looking for.
Entertaining.
Entertaining as the last fight.
Yeah.
And I could probably see that because Tyson Fury was fighting a better fight. And that fight, he was fighting a good style, even though the nose, I felt like that nose slowed him down. But when I was saying this, he looked at like Lackey Daisy is
He
like
definitely
no
wasn't able to move like he
no
did in the first
energy.
fight.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
oh he
Like
looked
he was
sluggish.
bouncing in that first fight,
Yeah,
sticking and moving, using
yeah,
that jab. This
yeah.
fight, he was
Yeah.
hesitant on punches, and he just looked like that size that I thought for sure coming in 280 pounds, 288
Yeah.
pounds. At fact, coming in that he would have used that. But I also saw Usyk do something that I was like, that's like he really showcased his IQ, ring IQ, because he knew he was outweighed 55 pounds, something like that. It was a weight difference on him. And of course, I saw Tyson trying to box with him. And I don't know if
Yeah.
in his mind he thinks I can box with Usyk. I don't think he can. Usyk's a fucking master boxer. And that's not
Yeah.
saying Tyson Fury isn't a great boxer. He's a great boxer for a big man. He moves
Yeah.
extremely well. But
Right.
Usyk, he's a boxing master, man. And then I noticed when Fury did try to use that weight, he did it in like a manner of he would spread his arms like a bear to win. And then every time he would do that, Usyk would just just unleash on him to where when his hands went like this, Usyk was hit. So when he was coming in, it was just like, he was getting nailed. So he started getting to the point where he's like, I can't, like, he's not going to let me. And I guess maybe he should have maybe tried to, bully his way in a little bit. Arms down, guard up, force him into the corner, and then put that weight on him. Instead, he was just like, every time he did, he'd go like this. And you're just like, man, you're dropping your guard. And then Usyk's the type, he took advantage of it every time and never allowed him to really do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think Fury is retirement stage, or would you like to see a Joshua versus Fury fight before both of these guys go off the rack? Or is that fight lost all its appeal at this point because it really doesn't hold any meaning?
I mean, it's the heavyweight. I mean, shit, they might as well fight because it ain't too many fights that's appealing in the heavyweight anyway.
Especially for them too. Yeah.
To me,
yeah.
I'm still waiting on Jared Anderson to come back.
Man, I'll tell you what, after I saw, we'll get into the conversation about that before I get too far ahead. Let's talk about also, like, one, Usyk's greatness, man. Like, where would you, hold on, where was that? With Usyk's greatness, man. Like, where would you put Usyk as heavyweight right now? 7 fights. I think he's only fought 7 times in the heavyweight division. A lot of people were.
I ain't putting him all the way up there, though. It's no heavyweight because that shit is not entertaining. There's not that many fighters in that class.
Yeah.
That shit is like a wash for real. So I ain't going to be like, oh, yeah, he's top 5. No.
Now, does that hurt his legacy, though, down the road? Like, when we go back and we remember a guy like Usyk, are we going to go, man, he was in probably the weakest heavyweight division that we've seen in a long time. Heavyweight division hasn't really been anything for almost 25 years, really. Like, as far as like big time, like somebody, like guys in there outside of Klitschko and then before them, and then Lennox Lewis, and then it trickled down in the 90s, started trickling off in the 2000s after Lennox Lewis and Klitschko kind of started getting older and out of the game. Fury came in, but there wasn't anybody for Fury to fight at that time. Right. You know what I mean? He came in, beat Klitschko, and then Dillian White and fucking those guys that. I'm not real big on those as competition. They were good fighters, I guess. Decent fighters, but no, legendary names that you're gonna be like, oh man, like Usyk, Fury, the best in the division fighting each other. But it was only route to go. So does this? I don't want to say water down his legacy as we look back and go, well, who was there? Like, there really wasn't. Like, he beat Joshua, who I always said was overrated. I always said I thought Joshua was never as good as what they put him out there to be. Would have loved to seen him and Wilder in their prime fight each other. I think that would have been a great fight. That pass, they denied boxing of that one. But I was never big on Joshua. And then Fury, I always said his resume didn't really hold up because he was in one of the weakest eras, kind of like Usyk. He's just in a bad era.
Mm-hmm. But he beat Klitschko, though. He went with Klitschko.
He did, but he beat an older Klitschko. Older Klitschko. Like, towards the end of his career type thing, young, 6 foot. Like, that's one of the first times I think I saw Tyson Fury. And I'm like, who the fuck is this fucking, like, this dude's 6'9", lanky ass, bald. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he was just weird. Like, but his boxing skills impressed me. But I don't know. He conquered the cruiserweight. He conquered the heavyweight division. Usyk did. What's left for him? Does he just wait around for the next big guy coming up in the heavyweight division? Does he even have that type of time? Or does he, what else is there for him to conquer in this sport?
That's where his boxing headed, though. What is next for these dudes? That's how you know that, not saying that, but either you getting older or the boxing player is just weak. And I feel like it ain't really nothing else you need to do. You beat the top dog, you beat him twice. Everybody else is like, it's like who's like unless he fight the one motherfucker, I love to see him fight him.
Who? Which one? Daniel Dubai?
Nah. Who beat Jared Anderson? They all running from.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why nobody's signing up to fight him. There was a guy that I really like in the heavyweight division, man. I'll put the full fights down here for you guys. Let's go back and talk about the scorecards before I go ahead. What were your thoughts on the scorecard? 8-4. All three judges had an 8-4 in favor of Usyk. I didn't really see it that one-sided. I thought it was a good fight. I had 7-5, and I thought that wasn't, Usyk 7-5 winning the fight, but I didn't see it as 8-4. And then I just felt like the scorecards are really wide, and then they put an AI judge in there. Did you see that shit?
Hell no, they need to chill out with that.
Yeah, they definitely.
I was at work though, but I had forgot that the fight came in earlier, so I was lost. I forgot they do the fights early over there. So I'm thinking I could have been watching the fight as I'm going to work and shit. So I'm thinking the fight come on later that night, but not thinking it was on before I got to work. So my little brother had it on. That's why I was able to catch a few of them rounds where we caught two. I think I caught two, but when I seen the score, so I caught like 8 or 9. I'm like, oh yeah, he lost this. When I seen the scores, I'm like, oh yeah, wow, they lost. And I could tell like he was losing. Like I was just and no rounds, like it was like I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but I can't really say so. I can't really go on the judge side of what they thought. I'd be lying if I'd be like, I feel like But I believe your word, what you say. I believe your word, what you say.
I thought it was a little bit wide on the scorecards, and then the AI judge had a 118-112 in favor of Usyk. I hope this AI thing doesn't really pan out because that thing's smoking on something. Number one, number two.
AI said what?
Yeah, and the fact is that how does it know?
Judge it though? How did it judge it?
How does an AI differentiate punches landed to punches blocked? You know what I mean? Is the AI just seeing every punch thrown and they're counting that as a landed punch, a thrown punch? Because how does it calculate and separate that? How would an AI do that? So I think that's something I don't like. I get our judges are bad and boxing, and we have a lot of controversy and shit like that with the judging. I don't know if AI is the route. We've said it on here a billion times. I think it's as simple as putting a fucking TV directly in front of each fucking one of them and giving them the same view me and you have as fighters, as fans, to see the overview and all the action.
You're gonna let an AI do
it? Yeah. I mean, but that's how much faith boxing has lost, and it's judging is that they're like, hey, let's try AI.
They
maybe
just ain't doing it right. You need to put people that really box in their life or have some type like you can put coaches in there. You can even put coaches in there. Former coaches, no analysts, just coaches or former boxers that box that ain't get all the way there that ain't gonna be biased. And
guys like Teddy Atlas, for example. Teddy Atlas would be a great judge. You know what I mean? He really breaks shit down.
You got a story, goddamn it, damn near having to put a lie detector to the judges while they doing this shit just to make sure they ain't being biased.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But what was the AI shit about? Like, what did the AI score this fight?
They scored at 118-112 in favor of Usyk. Like just a blowout.
What the regular judge is at?
What is it? It was 8-4. So I mean, it would have been pretty much close to that. Well, like 117 something. I didn't really see what I just knew they did 8 rounds of 4 when it was all said and done. All three judges favored 8 for Usyk, 4 for Fury, which I didn't see that. I thought it was a lot closer, but I think they still got it right in what they chose, but the AI judge is so far off. And like I said, we don't know exactly how this thing is going to judge it and determine and differentiate the landed from not landed punches, stuff like that, block punches. I don't know. I think they need to do. I don't know how much you can trust an AI one. How much
they better.
You can probably influence that thing as much as to see things in the way you wanted to see it.
They better go on with that shit. I ain't gonna lie. They need to go ahead and cancel that shit. If they want to do it like that, go ahead and hire us. We'd be great judges. We'd love to judge every fight and get paid for it. We'd love to be judges and not be biased and all that. They talking about AI. They trying to.
What'd you think about Daniel Dubai getting in the ring after the fight? little corny on my part, but
Oh, I didn't even see it, but he already got beat. So
yeah,
what
that's
you
what I'm saying.
been
And
in
it
the
wasn't
ring
like
for?
he landed a good blow on him, and that I didn't think was a low blow on Usyk.
I didn't think that was a low blow though, but
You thought it was? I didn't think it was a low
no,
blow.
I said I didn't think it was a low blow. I
Okay,
didn't
yeah,
think it was a
me
low
either,
blow.
me either. I didn't think it was either. And but I don't think Usyk would allow that to happen again. I think he would be definitely looking out for that. Daniel Dubai, though, he did make a pretty good comeback for 2024 after taking a loss to Usyk like
Yes,
that.
man.
He was considered a quitter and all that kind of shit. Then he came back and he beat Hergovic. Then came back and beat Anthony Joshua. Really showcased, I guess, a lot of heart for the year. He might be one of my comeback fighters of the year. Him and Joseph Parker up there also coming back off losses the way they did
Yeah.
in that heavyweight division. Definitely liked what I saw from those two guys, and looking forward to seeing them fight in February, if I'm correct, for that card versus Better Be versus Baval.
Yeah.
But on those undercard, man, I thought there was really a name on there that grabbed my attention that I really liked. This is the third time I've watched him fight. He's a heavyweight division. Is he the future? I don't know. You probably didn't get to watch it. Moses
I did.
Atamu. And this kid, I've watched him fight 3 times, and he stepped up his level against Dempsey McKean and knocked him out in the first round. Like it wasn't shit. Like he's 6'6", so he's got the size. He's not a small guy, but he's only like, I want to say 18, 19 years old. Fucking
Okay.
young guy.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah, I ain't
definitely
get the
looks like,
same. I got to check
dude,
him out.
yeah, check him out on highlights. They were trying to match him up with this guy here, Johnny Fisher, who was they were supposed to fight each other on that card. Johnny Fisher got a questionable win over David Allen. I didn't think he won the fight. I thought Johnny Fisher lost that fight against David Allen. But that's who they were going to match Atuma up against, Moses up against. And I thought that would have probably not ended well for Fisher and his career. But this fight didn't do much for his career either because I thought he lost that fight. That was the undercard. There wasn't a lot of good fights on the undercard, but that Moses Tamu I thought was a good fight. And there was a fight. Who was a fight before the co-main event on that card? Oh yeah, Cyril Boachuk, the guy who fought Ortiz, gave him a good little fight. He knocked Ishmael Davis out in the 6th round of that fight. So he's a guy to look at 154, man. He's got a little bit of power, and I like what I see from that guy for sure. Let's get into some rumors and news, baby. Like we said, not a lot going on in boxing this week, so we're gonna have to
Ain't a
go.
lot going on. We had a standstill. I ain't
no,
liking this shit.
yeah. But ending the year, not the way we thought. We thought we were going to get some really good fights ending the year, but a lot of that didn't pan out. A lot of injuries, a lot of cancellations. We were supposed to get the Davis Roach fight this month. We didn't get that. Inoue versus Sam Goodman. We didn't get that fight to end the year with. So, things fell through not the way we wanted it to. Also, some of the rumors going on about that. Let's get into the Davis Roach thing. Davis posted a thing on social media, Twitter, stating that this fight was fucking canceled. But his Roach's dad says he has heard nothing from their camp to indicate that the fight has been canceled. They did nothing on their part. They haven't canceled the fight. So as far as he knows, this fight is still on. What are your thoughts? Is this fight still going to happen? Or is this a waste of Tank Davis's time? If he's going to retire after 2025, should he be trying to unify this division or making the bigger, better fights, or do you think this Roach fight is actually a good fight for him?
Man, I feel like the Roach fight is probably like a tune-up fight. I think him and Shakur is getting ready for 2025. If this fight happens, Shakur beat his man. Yeah. They both is in watch fight. Everybody talking about Tank fight, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt for Floyd Schofield just because
You are, and his daddy said he ain't coming to lose.
I'm listen, and Roach Daddy said the same thing. Who got the bid? Who you think will win the fight? Roach against Schofield or who you think will win?
I
I
think
know I'm
Roach
going
would
at
beat
this one.
Schofield.
Okay, so who So we
But
got the
man, you know
second
what?
fight.
Maybe I'm being biased. Maybe I'm taking way too much off of his last fight. He did come back and win that fight, you know, in a unanimous way. But actually, he got a majority decision. But just what I saw from a smaller guy like Rennie and some of the problems he gave Schofield really made me question, like, okay, could this guy handle a more skilled guy like Shakur or a guy like even Lamont Roach, who I think is a pretty good fighter? But Lamont does have a loss on his record.
Yeah, but that doesn't determine that. The loss don't
No,
determine
it
that.
doesn't determine anything, but it shows that he's, you know, he is
He could have
vulnerable
had an
like that.
off night
You
that
know,
night.
yeah,
Could have been
yeah,
an off night because he been looking good ever since, and he a champion. And I
yeah.
feel like so I'm saying between Schofield and 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 Roach, who would you take?
I would take Roach just because he's more experienced, and like I said,
Okay.
I really would like for them. Like I get Schofield wanting to take that opportunity to fight a big name guy, and like you
Yeah,
said, if he
it
loses
ain't
this
nothing wrong
early
with
in his
that.
career, it's not going to hurt him losing this early in his career. But I also feel like sometimes there's a way to bring a fighter along. And let's say he goes in and he loses bad to Shakur, right? That could derail him a lot more than what they think just because he's young and
Yeah,
taking a loss. If he gets
yeah.
his ass whooped, gets knocked out or anything like that, that's going to set him back. And I just think with the experience, Lamont Roach would beat Schofield, in my opinion. So I think Lamont Roach would be a harder fight for sure. Uh, you know, as far as like, you know, on the level, what level is Schofield on? I still think Schofield is on the prospect level.
Yeah, he is, but you got to step up at some point of your fight. We don't always say that until we see him step up. But
Yeah.
my point was making that was I feel like Tank at the tough fight. I mean, we all criticize, oh, Tank fighting, but we ain't looking ours. Shakur fighting. Who fighting the best man? Who fighting the better man?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shakur or Tank? Okay,
But it
and
wasn't, you got to remember, it
I feel
wasn't,
like, huh?
you got to remember, it wasn't Shakur's first option. He wanted Zepeda.
I know that. I mean, but he gonna watch the. Well, I apologize.
Can you hear me on my mic?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So you think Tank, so what you're getting to with the Schofield Roach like comparison is that Tank has a harder fight than
No,
uh
I feel like they got the even. They fights is even. I feel like Tank fighting, like I was just saying before you were here. I feel like Tank got the better opponent, but Shakur got the most exciting fight.
okay. So oh yeah, I mean, as far as like I agree. I feel like more boxing fans right now, it's hard to say. I guess would know Schofield's name a little bit more with the amateurs and as you know coming up in the pros. He's had a little bit bigger name than Lamont Roach did, as far as like people knowing him. So I guess I don't know, man. I've only seen maybe Lamont Roach fight a couple times. I've seen Schofield fight pretty much his whole pro career. Uh, I just think, yeah, I think it's pretty even,
See,
but
I
I don't
seen
know.
Lamont Roach come up off of Premier Fox Premier. He used to be
Yeah.
fighting on there when
Okay.
they had I guess PBC had some with Fox when they do regular fights used to come on there like ESPN got regular fights coming on. They stopped that. I
Yeah.
wish they never stopped it, but they stopped that. But that's how I got hit to. That's how I got hit to Lamont Roach.
Yeah. Here's my question for you, though. Like, I think this is a complete waste of time for Tank to be fighting a guy at 130. If he plans on truly retiring after the 2025 year, why waste your time on a guy that's not in your division and nothing comes of it? Does he get Lamont Roach's belt? Is that up for grabs, or is only his belt at 135 because Roach is coming up to 135? So only
I think
Davis's belt
Lamont
is on
Roach
the
was
line.
at 135 once upon a time though.
They
I
were,
don't
but
think
Roach has been down to 130 for his last what 3 or 4 fights.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
I'm saying he been fought at 135. I think he was had a couple fights at 135. But
Yeah.
if you say that's a waste of time, then Shakur is doing a waste of time. They both having a waste of time.
I
If
mean,
you
I
say
think
that,
I think the Schofield fight is a waste of time, but the difference in the Schofield fight and the Roach fight for Davis has a choice. He can fight somebody else at 135. That is a 135 guy. He can possibly fight the guy that holds the IBF belt that beat Navarrete when they fought for it. I can't remember his name. He can option to fight him.
Who he with though? What business we got? We
I
be
think he
saying
could make it happen.
we be
I,
saying that.
I think he's with the Zone though, and the Zone and PBC work together. You know,
We be saying that, but I was just Jamil Harrison got a little podcast now too. I ain't gonna say little, my bad. He got a boxing podcast too, and he was saying that how we expect shit to go, that shit don't be like that. It be bigger than that. It be a whole lot of business into that. That's just like he was saying, like he wanted to fight uh what's his name that Shakur B that just lost to Navarrete.
yeah. I know you're talking about Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, he was saying he wanted to fight Oscar Valdez first and then get Shakur. But it ain't worked out like that.
Nobody wanted to see him fight Oscar Valdez.
It
Nobody wanted to see Davis. I would have rather see Davis versus Roach than Valdez. Yeah.
No. I'm saying Jamil Harrison. I'm talking about the business about him. How he wanted to fight. How he wanted to fight Oscar Valdez.
Okay, yeah.
Shakur, and him and Shakur was gonna meet up. But he said business is business, and the shit ain't worked out how he wanted it to work out.
Yeah.
So they made him fight Shakur. So just cause these people was up for this, man, these boys they be talking all this shit. Them boys probably scared of Tank. They don't want to probably fight Tank. Look at Lomachenko. Now when Tank really felt himself, you don't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying?
The whole Lomachenko thing, you can go back to our podcast. I told everybody that fight wasn't going to happen. Tell me the last time PBC and Top Rank ever worked together. They don't. I was surprised. That's why the Shakur versus Frank Martin fight didn't happen.
But that wasn't known, Shakur. It wasn't about that. The Frank Martin fight, he said it didn't happen because he backed out because he got a bigger offer from Tank. And he was like, why would I take that and I could get this?
But he didn't take that Tank fight to what? Like almost a year later. To me, I think what happens is these guys get into negotiation, they come with money, right? But then Top Rank will cancel a fight with PBC over 0.5. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't come in. They wanted 1.5, and we were only offering 1 point. 1. And like silly stuff like, and almost as if they sabotage it in a way to make it look like, well, this fighter wants this,
we
and
can't
it makes
say
it look
that
like
either, though.
Fighters at the end of the day.
So why the top what's the name with Top Rank and what's the name with Matchroom? Why they fight ain't happen?
Top Rank and Matchroom work together. It's PBC and Top Rank that will not work together.
Did the fight with Boots and Norman didn't happen? If they so good and close and they couldn't get this money shit,
we saw that too. It was a difference in almost $500,000, basically.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be the business. It don't be because this. All I'm saying is like, okay, because this fighter ranked number 5 and this fighter ranked number 4. Oh, they should fight each other. Yeah, we want to see that, but that business don't be right for us to see that.
But you don't think that promotional companies they could fork out another half?
We know what they can do, right? But we know how these promotional companies
they want to start fights, right? I think what I'm saying is I think these promotional companies blame it on these fighters and then say it's all business, when in the end they're the one who controls that purse flow. They control who's getting paid what, how much they want to pay somebody, and they also know, like you got Eddie Hearns, for example. He knows the route he wants to put Boots. He wanted Boots to go to 154. That was his true intention. And then Boots is like, nah, I want to unify 140. And he said that before he even signed with Matchroom. Yeah. I want to unify 147. And Hearns' whole thing was he was going to put him up to 154, screw the 147, give Connor 147, put Ben and then put Boots up to 154. And then Boots is like, nah, that's not how it's going to work. I want to unify this division. So, you had the Ortiz fight that didn't happen. Little things like that. So I think promoters, in a way, in their own way, they sabotage things and then say, oh, it's business, or say, oh, well, these fighters couldn't, and then they blame it on the trainer or the fighter or the dad, stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like you was saying, Tank to fight whoever. That's just like, all right, I know you. I know we probably gonna be a draw. If I know you, sometimes it'd be like, all right, bro, I'm gonna put some money in your pockets. I'm gonna fight you. I'd rather fight you than fight him. Cause guess what? He got a belt. I don't want that belt. So when I win, no matter what, they're gonna get 3% of my money for taking that belt.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna fight you, put some money in your pockets, and I'm gonna leave with my cash. My money.
And I can see that too, because like we talked about the Tank draw, right? Tank doesn't need to fight for belts, 100%. So he's the draw, and I can agree with him saying, "Hey, yeah, I'd rather fight. I like that fighter better, and I would rather put money in his pocket than put money in his pocket."
Right.
I
get money took from my pocket.
Yeah, yeah, and then I win a belt, and then I got to pay these guys every month, knocking at my door like rent a center.
Right. And all I'm gonna do probably when I get look, because I'm gonna give y'all money once I win the belt, but then all I'm gonna do when I do get the belt is drop it.
Yeah.
The WBA probably ain't charging Tank as much as everybody else is.
Now, like, talking about these belts and talking about 135, let's stay on track with that. Let's go down the road of Lomachenko deciding to retire. That's what I've heard, that he's going to retire. What are your thoughts? How's that belt? Do they save that belt for a Shakur versus Tank fight?
Go ahead. Oh, come on.
But are you going to put that on a Tank versus Rhodes card? Or are you going to put that on a Shakur and give Schofield an opportunity to win 2 belts if he does win at that young age? I mean, I would.
Make somebody fight for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Put it out there for somebody to fight for. But if you really want those belts to, I think, have more meaning to it, I would go with the hold them off to the Shakur versus Tank if they do decide to fight each other in 25. Put that belt on the line with those two, and they both have a belt, and you're one step closer to unifying the 135 division.
Yeah, is Keyshawn fighting for a belt?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another question. The more I'm hearing, is Keyshawn going to get the fight before Shakur does?
I don't know.
Does he go after Keyshawn first and save Shakur for his last fight?
I wouldn't be mad at it.
I would like that. I wouldn't mind that so much. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, hearing the way, what's his name? Bomac talks about Keyshawn. He talks about Keyshawn like, man, you guys don't realize this guy's got a lot of skill. But I just always hold my thought for a guy until I see him really fight at that next level, and I don't feel like Keyshawn's fought everybody at that next level.
He haven't.
So I'm waiting to hold exactly what I see, because I don't know if we've seen the best of Keyshawn. You know what I mean? We've seen the level of opponents he's fought, and that he's well above those guys, and he's better than those guys. But is he the next level guy yet? We've yet to see, because of the opponents that he's fighting.
I feel like we need to see him fight that level of opponent. Like even his last opponent. Come on.
Why not Raymond Mortala? Raymond Mortala was just called the one of the number one contenders at 135 by the WBC or WBO, one of them that just had their convention.
He just lose, though?
No, Mortala didn't lose. Mortala's still up there. Yeah, so him and Raymond Mortala, they're both with Top Rank. An absolute fight you could make. That would make sense. Also, Top Rank possibly being done with ESPN by the summer of 2025. Now, is this, in your opinion, now the more I've thought about it, I know we talked about this on the last show, but the more I've sat down and I've thought about it, my guy, is that a good, because think about it, how long, when PBC's contract is up with Amazon, do you see that contract continuing?
Nah, I hope they don't take boxing off ESPN.
I don't want them to take it off ESPN either. But the fact is, like, the only thing that I'm seeing that comes out of the good in this is that, let's say PBC, I do not see them re-signing with Amazon. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the 2025 year, they really blow up. They really, set off and they get their, the wheels rolling on Amazon. Right now, what I've seen in 2024, if the same thing happens in 2025, there's no way you go back to the Amazon platform. It's been a complete disaster, in my opinion. You didn't put on a lot of fights this year.
Yeah.
The 90 or 80% of those fights were pay-per-view fights. You only gave people a couple free fights. It was not advertised by Amazon whatsoever. PBC wasn't pushing the fights. They weren't. How many fighters did they have stagnant in the year of 2024 that they just let stagnate? They've got a big ass arsenal of fighters, and a lot of those guys.
They got a whole lot of fighters.
Yeah. So to me,
this shit been going on since COVID, though. Could it be a COVID effect? Because it's definitely been going on since COVID.
But we see Top Rank, we see DAZN, we see Golden Boy. These guys have pushed forward, and they're not stagnant right now. They got their fighters out there getting their name known. They got these guys out there fighting, weekly. Fucking Mason literally did 8 fights this year?
Yeah,
I think it has a lot to do with.
Was they making moves in boxing? I think PBC was the only ones making moves during that COVID shit. And I feel like
you can make the moves, but if you're not doing anything with it, what's it?
Listen to what I'm about to say. You mean let me finish?
Okay.
PBC the only ones making moves during the COVID. They weren't supposed to fight. Was they? But no, that's a question.
I agree, and I think
no. It's not an agree. It's a question. Like I'm trying to see, was they the only ones that were putting on fights during the COVID?
Top Rank was putting them on. Top Rank was putting on fights for sure. The Zone was putting on fights. That's during COVID. During COVID. That's kind of what drew me back to boxing a lot. You know what I mean? Because a lot of it had dropped off. And I thought COVID really gave us, and because, you weren't getting basketball, you weren't getting football, you weren't getting group sports at all. Boxing was a perfect sport because you could distance people, and it's only a one-on-one sport. So you did see, I thought Top Rank really flourished with it. I thought PBC did their thing on, what were they on at the time? Fox, if I'm right?
I don't really know.
Or were they on Showtime at that point? I think they were with Showtime at that point.
They might have been with Fox because I remember Adrian Bronner and Robert Easter fight that year. Right? Yeah. They had a fight. But no, my point was saying that was maybe now doing that shit during COVID and they go how they were supposed to and they lost money on that shit. And they ain't figured out how to bounce back yet.
That's true, man. I get that, but I think a platform, you got to pick the right platform. Amazon has never been set up for boxing. They don't. If I'm correct, they don't even do MMA stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a new platform for them. I don't know. For my thing is, I'd hate to see ESPN lose boxing because ESPN gives us the best fights for free, in my opinion. You get pay-per-view fights for free on Top Rank as long as you have your subscription, usually to ESPN Plus, stuff like that. You get the better fights off Top Rank and ESPN. So I would hate to see that leave. But my only thing is if you get all these guys with Matchroom, you got Golden Boy there, you got Top Rank there, and you somehow lure PBC to come over. Now you have all these guys on the same platform, and we could possibly get every fight we would want to get as fans to say, all right, now there's no more, I don't work with ESPN and I don't work with fucking PBC. That shit goes out the window. If you're all on the same platform, it makes it easier to say, okay, we're going to work with Golden Boy, we're going to work with PBC, we're going to work with the Zone, Matchroom, stuff like that. You bring that in. The only one on the outside looking in would be Pro Box, but Pro Box will work with anybody, I truly believe.
I don't know, man. I don't really shit. They better get their shit together. Shit. I don't know, man. I can't really say, man. It seems like the fighters they only got right now is a few and they ain't fighting right now, so ain't no telling what's going on, man.
Yeah, and I think it's also a war.
Spence ain't fought since the last time he fought. That's been damn near 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Tank having situations where I don't know, man. I don't know.
Tank only fought once last year. That was it.
I can't. He would have been fighting if they would have got that shit done with Lomachenko, but they didn't, so that pushed him back. That hurt him. They hurt
Yeah,
him. So
that I
he's
don't
like,
know how Lomachenko doesn't take that fight. I really don't. If you wanted to retire, that would have been the fight I wanted him to leave with. Fighting a guy like
he
Tank
don't
Davis,
want to
I would have
leave
bought
in it.
that.
He
But
don't want to leave in
never
his
know what's going
bag.
on.
He
Yeah,
don't want to leave with his body in shock.
yeah, or another L on his record. Like shit, I got
Mm.
another L. But yeah, I mean, I get that, but I thought that would have been the best fight to put together at 135. Him and Davis, really close, great fight. But we'll see how 2025 goes. Are you excited for 2025 boxing with some of the stuff we've already been told that's going to happen? Some of the fights that's going to start the year out. Really kind of get started, I want to say, more around February than anything. Do you think we're going to have the same thing? That's the only thing that I want to say against 2024. It ended very, 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 very weak. It was far and few. Once it hit September, the fights were far and few.
Yeah, it
We were
ended weak
getting
as
maybe
fuck.
one good card a month. You know what I'm
But the
saying?
summertime, the summer, spring, it was jumping. This
Yeah.
shit ended weak as fuck though. It definitely ended weak, super weak.
Yeah. Compared to the 2023 year that I thought ended super strong, ended great in 2023. We got some great fights that went from October all the way to December in 2020. Great fights that we ended with. I thought for sure this year for boxing, it started off, great. Starting from the beginning of the year all the way through to about July, really. And then that's when it kind of trickled down starting in August, and we just didn't really, we got far and few on them fights. I think boxing needs to spread it out. Don't give us everything all at fucking, it's great. It's awesome to have those weeks after week after week where we're like, hell yeah, we're getting the best fucking fights. But then when it falls off, you ain't got shit to talk about. You're digging for shit. Like, I get every sport has an off season. You know what I mean? And I guess the fall would be more of the, because you got college football, pro football, you got other sports coming into factor also. So, Top Rank adjusts their schedules to usually do
Man,
Friday
fuck that
because of
boxing
football.
all year round, man. They in the
Yeah,
stadium. We don't give a
exactly.
fuck.
So I think
It
you
don't
should
matter
find a
what's
way to
going
say, hey,
on.
we're going to compete. We're going to put our shit on the same fucking time you got your football game on. Let's see how it does.
Yeah.
Here in America, maybe not so well. That's another thing I
Saturday
want to talk
nights anyway. It's college football. They should be able to compete with college football, especially if it
about. I
ain't
would
no
think.
big ass game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's only a couple of big ass games in college football, right? That
Yeah.
people is really gonna probably be
Yeah.
in tune with.
Bama,
It's not,
Georgia. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's not
Yeah.
too many games in college football where we gotta watch every college game. No,
Yeah.
that's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie. That's go for
And
basketball and fucking football. So
yeah, college
that's a
college basketball don't mean shit this time of year. Like it's not
yeah,
till about February when we really start getting into conference play and shit like that for college
yeah.
basketball. Same thing with the NBA. I don't get into the NBA till after All Star break. Then
Yeah.
that's when I'm like, okay, let's where are these guys at? Who's who? Who's in contention? Who's out? Because by that time, you know who is who at that
Yeah.
point. They've even talked about possibly moving the NBA schedule to start December 25th every year, Christmas time. That was actually brought up, I want to say, by Charles Barkley talking about that. And I thought it's not a bad idea. Why
What?
not be?
Start the
Uh,
season in December.
yeah, start the season in December instead of starting it all the way, at
Then October during
into
football.
October. Yeah, you got NFL. Nobody's paying attention to NBA. I haven't paid much attention to NBA at all this year. Like small games. I watched a little bit of that Warriors Lakers game. That was it, man. That's probably the most I watched all year. Oh yeah. What about let's get back into some news. Carmel Moten announces February 1st as a return date. I don't know what card he's going to be on February 1st, but he has announced, that's the second fight he's had to push back with the whole, in a way, he was supposed to be on the Ryan Garcia card. That fight, of course, Ryan pulled out of that fight, something to do with injury or something like that for him. Probably wasn't off the steroids and was going to fail another drug test, but, we won't go there. Let's get into also a fight being announced by Pro Box TV. I like Pro Box a lot, man. This is a good little fight. Going to be on January 24th on Pro Box. Pro Box is a. I feel like they're moving up, and it's almost if ESPN leaves Top Rank, it'll pretty much be the last platform for U.S. fighting outside of Amazon. So I don't know if that's something that comes into play with Top Rank leaving. ESPN that we lose another platform in the U.S. HBO, Showtime, Fox, ESPN, all drop boxing. Our only platform is YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like really? Like that's the American platform, fucking YouTube. I don't know. I guess that's what it's come to. But it's far and few. We can't. I don't think somebody said boxing was a niche in the U.S. I think it's still a very popular sport, but it's so worldwide that you know what I mean. It doesn't really come in. Like people don't factor that in. Like football and basketball here isn't worldwide. You know, well, I can't say that. Basketball definitely is worldwide sport, but not on the level I feel like boxing is. Boxing is like
Basketball going down.
for sure, man. I just think the talent level just a lot of talent. Just I don't know. The game is different. These guys are taking 30 steps before they dunk the ball, and everybody carries. Every fucking body carries. I'm like, God damn, we just threw that rule straight out the fucking window. Like this dude literally ran from the half court line and dunked it, and I'm like, he took like 8 steps. Like, what is a fucking travel? Like, you know, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. It's a different sport. It's adjusted. I think, you
That's
know,
that
athletic.
European. That's that European move. People be thinking it's travel, but it's more like footwork now that they figuring like a way how to take them 2 steps. Because when you get the ball, that's that. When you grab the ball and you run it towards it, that don't count as a step. You got to have the
See, but
ball
here's the
in
thing: if
position.
I grab the
That's
ball and I take off before putting the ball on the ground, ain't that a travel? Because you have to put your ball on the ground before you move your
nah, yeah,
pivot.
they call that. I'm saying a lot of people like if I throw you the ball and you running towards it, but it's bouncing and you ain't got no like
Kind of
contact
like a
with it.
handoff.
Or yeah, like if I bounce past, I could take 2 steps. Yeah, like if I throw, I could if I'm in motion, I could take 2 steps and boom. But if I
Yeah,
grab it and stop, then I gotta drill.
yeah, that is true, man. It's just a different sport for me, guy. Like
Yeah,
a few years ago, man, I was watching it and I was all into it. And then my biggest thing is like, you know, I was a LeBron fan for the longest time. I feel like he cries about every fucking call. And then I was a huge, you know, fucking the guy from Dallas, fucking
Dirt,
not Dirk, the
Luca,
Luca, big Luca fan, but he cries about every fucking play too. I'm like, bro,
everybody
just play
cry.
fucking basketball, bro. Stop crying about, oh, I should have got this call. Just play ball, bro. You're not gonna get every fucking call. Like it's basketball. It's a contact sport, bro. But
Yeah,
before we leave, we did get a little bit of news about Jack Catterall fighting Arnold Barboza. I really like this fight because I think this is a chance for Barboza to really showcase what he's got. Great fight. And Jack Catterall, both of these guys, man, they're fighting for everything in this. This is going to be all the marbles at junior welterweight. This is going to determine, you know, the next title fight for both of these guys. They're both going to get a title fight. Whoever wins this fight is going to get the title fight. I think this is a great fight at 140, and these are 2 top contenders at that 140. That 140 division, 2025, bro, that's got to get the fucking wheels moving. You got way too much there. Devin motherfucking Haney, Jack Catterall, Subaru Mateus, Teofimo, like fucking Jack Catterall,
you ain't talking about Richard
Gary
Richardson
Antoine
fight
Russell
either.
Jr. Who is
You
it?
ain't talking about Richard Richardson.
Richard Hitchens. Like, look at the fucking level of talent at 140, and none of these guys are fucking fighting each other. Something had the ball got that has to roll in 2025 with these guys, or some of these guys got to start moving up to give the 147 division a little something. You know what I mean? Like a Teo or a Devin going up to 147 might be good for
Yeah,
Devin's career. Because if he wants to fight Garcia again, Garcia ain't coming in at 140. So you might as well move up to 147 and get ready to fight him at that weight, you know, in my opinion. But should Devin Haney get back in the ring before fighting Ryan Garcia? Is he just waiting? Has he been too stagnant after taking a loss?
man. I don't know. They be too internet for me, bro. It's more too internet. Like fight, bro. Like goddamn.
Yeah,
Everybody know you got money and shit, bro. We don't give a fuck about that. We want to see
yeah,
fights, bro. We don't care
yeah,
about how much money you got. We know you got some money. You're a fucking pro boxer, bro. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I don't know, man. That shit, I don't know, bro. I don't know who he should fight. I don't know who he gonna fight. I just
Man, he
know he
got a
need
lot
it.
of options, bro. He's got plenty of options to fight at 140. Like
If I
to
was
not
him,
make.
I'll fight and then Ryan has get back. I'm getting my get back. When you come back, getting my
Yeah,
get back.
but to me, he needs to step into the ring before Ryan Garcia. You go back out there and Ryan whoops your ass again. Keep hitting you with that left.
No, that's what I said. Get a fight before
He
Ryan
can't.
come back, and when Ryan come back, get your get back.
Yep, exactly. Yep. I mean, we'll see how that goes. To me, I don't know the whole cheating thing going on in the sport of boxing. I will put it out there, man. I have no love for anybody that cheats in boxing.
Mm-mm.
I don't make excuses, regardless if it's a fighter I like or dislike. I was an Oscar Valdez fan. I stopped being a fan of his once he failed that test. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Cheating in the sport of boxing is not acceptable, in my opinion. And Ryan Garcia is no exception to the fucking rule. And for people to make this guy out like he didn't do any goddamn thing wrong is absolutely ridiculous. And it really kind of, you see the fans of boxing, how one sided they can be when it's their guy. Oh, it's not cheating. But when it's fucking, somebody who beat their guy and they cheated, then, oh my God, then, it's a big thing. I think it should be all the way across the board, man. A cheater is a cheater. And there's no excuses for it, man. That Dennis McCain over in the UK, I was a big fan of his. He just failed a PED test. You know, no longer. That guy has to prove that he's a clean fighter to me. Now I just look at
Mm-hmm.
him as a dirty fighter, and now you got to question everything they do.
I feel the
So
same.
even Lisa Bumgardner, same way with her. She failed her test, and proved. And I haven't seen her in the ring since. Why is it taking me
She
so long to
fought.
get back in the
She
ring?
fought. She just
Has
fought.
she fight since then?
Yeah, she fought.
What, she fight in the summertime? I think it was the last time she fought.
Yeah, she
Yeah, but
fought
she
with
was on the
somebody.
card.
But she fought when somebody else was fighting though. A better card
Yeah,
than
exactly.
she
I
was on.
remember that. She kind of got overshadowed a little bit. Like we
Yeah,
didn't even know she was returning to the ring. I remember that
yeah.
vaguely, that she was on a card and kind of got overshadowed by the other cards that night. But yeah, I think it was the same night Michaela Mayer was fighting her fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
was. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it was kind of under the radar. Weird that they put that fight under the radar, man, because Bumgarner beating Michaela Mayer, I would have thought she would have been the bigger draw that day for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Big Spade, I don't have much more news, my guy.
Me neither. You been dry.
Not a lot going on in boxing right now, everybody. But hey, definitely got to thank you guys for joining us. We're going to end the year out. Big Spade, I do want to put together our fighters of the year,
Oh
possibly our
yeah,
knockout of the year,
yeah.
our fight of the year, our prospect of the year. Put a little list together. So a
Oh,
little
you gotta
homework.
send me the list. Just send me the
Yeah, yeah.
list.
Homework for you, homework for me. We're going to sit down, figure out who we think, let you display who you thought, who was
Yeah,
what this year, who you
yeah.
were most impressed with. I'm going to do the same thing. We'll sit down and end our year with our pound for pound list also. I'd love to do that. We know it switched up a little bit this year. We've seen some changes, some new champs, old champs going out, new champs coming in,
Mm-hmm.
up and coming guys we didn't know, like Espinoza. My guy proved himself against Jesus Ramos. I'm taking him serious at this point at 126, I think he is. 126. I think that's his weight division. So I like that guy a lot. But we'll get into that. You do what you do, my guy. Take us out this motherfucker right now.
Like, subscribe, comment, come with, mess with Bourbon and Boxing. See a lot of boxing podcasters, so yeah, I mean, we still fighting all the way to the top to be one of them top ones y'all come and look at. So, like, subscribe, comment, catch us on YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff.
Catch us
Number right
everywhere.
there. Catch us everywhere. If we
And
ain't
we'll get
there,
back on
if
schedule a
we
lot
ain't
more with
there,
you guys. Go ahead,
if
my
we
dude.
get on schedule when boxing pick up, because it's not. I don't really
Yeah.
see nobody talking about nothing right now.
There's
To
not a
be
lot to
honest,
talk about right now. Not a lot of fights being made,
only
man. So
people that's really talking is people that's getting interviews. It ain't really nothing going
yeah,
on. You know, like I said, man. Oh yeah, shout out to the USA Boxing National Tournament. You know, we had some Cincinnati and Ohio fighters in there too. I want to say that I knew two fighters from Cincinnati, Junior Olympics, won nationals. Um, WAP, and then I want to say Mar Dollar, Marshawn Higgins. I forgot WAP man, Lawrence something. He done won the national tournament 4 years straight. Them been wiping out all the tournaments from the qualifiers, silver gloves, all that. So, but
What do you think
national
about what do you think about the U.S. or the Olympics just like getting rid of boxing? What do you think about that?
trash, but I ain't gonna speak
Why
on it.
now decide that? I mean, it's been corrupt for years. We already know that. We know that for years. We've seen our boxers in the U.S. get robbed year after fucking year in the Olympics. Uh, on fights and shit like that. So I don't know. And unless they can fix the corrupt and the one sidedness, I don't mind it leaving because they don't give our guys a fair shot anyway. So why
Right,
have our guys go over there just to lose even when they win? It's not fair
right,
to them. You know,
right,
there's other ways and other levels for them to get their name out there for sure.
right.
But yeah, that's it, man. New year, new us. We're going to come back with you guys. Hopefully 2025 brings us some amazing boxing fights, guys. I want you guys to have a great New Year's. We're going to have a great New Year's. My guy, Big Spade, we're going to keep doing our thing, man. My guy works his ass off. I work my ass off. But guess what? We're still going to do our thing, baby. We still going to do our thing.
Sure.
We're going to get here with you guys. And you see, it's bourbon and motherfucking boxing, baby. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, man. Have a good New Year, and I hope you guys had a great holiday, man. The Cowboy.
Big Spade.
We out, baby. Thank y'all. Episode
Sir.
87. Check us out on the tube, Apple, all that kind of stuff. Check us out, baby.
For sure.